and that was one of the things that really, really made me happy to be working on this.
Right. It's what has sort of made me excited about the show. It really humanizes her. And
yeah, me too. Me too. Really, you know, what I wanted to do after I did the catalog was write a biography of her, but I had to take a break.
You said some of those letters are on the website?
Yes.
As well?
Yes.
About how many?
Oh, no, I don't remember, but 10, 12.
But you can see a large collection on this other website?
No, it's not a website, it's just a library.
You just have to go to the
You go to the library. They haven't been published, although we can do that.
Give it a grant.
Yeah,
What's the website?
it's arbrewster.com. Yeah.
Who was the John Dickinson?
Oh, John Dickinson was a philanthropist and sort of leading citizen in Scarsdale, New York, and that work was borrowed from the Scarsdale Public Library, which I believe he endowed, which is why it's there.
And did he commission it?
Yes, he did commission it, and that is an excellent question because, you know, another way that a lot of artists, you know, get their start is by being committed. You know, look at Sargent. I mean, he made a whole career out of portraits, and she was never really that much in demand as a portraitist either, and that is a surefire way of getting your name out there because you know, you paint the people who will then buy your paintings and will hang them in their lovely homes, to which other people will come who will then request a portrait and so on, and that's how it works. And she unfortunately wasn't the beneficiary of that sort of thing. She was asked to do portraits of all of the presidents of Barnard, sorry, not presidents, there were a series of professors at Barnard College, and they dedicated a room to those portraits. It's no longer there. But so she did those. She did a few portraits when she was in England, one of sort of minor royalty, which I know she hoped would lead somewhere, but didn't. And then these few that you see here. This is almost the entirety of her portrait except for the professors at Barnard.
Did she do any portraits of her son?
She did a miniature of her son, which is in the exhibition.
It is. So that little baby
is her son.
Okay. That's her
She
son.
called him they both called him the boy. Which gives you an idea of, you know, where the pedestal on which they placed him. He's the boy. He had a name, but he was the boy. Yes.
Since
okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Behind you, and then
I didn't get the name of the one that Dickinson commissioned. What was that?
John Dickinson, his portrait.
Oh, it's his own
portrait. Yes. Yes.
Since Scarsdale comes up quite a bit, what is the significance of that particular area, especially artistically? Does it have any artistic connections, or what was their connection to Scarsdale, and how is it connected to the rest of the artwork?
It's totally unconnected.
Okay.
But why she was there was that Annie Ware Windsor Allen's husband, among other things, developed property, was a property developer, and he and a bunch of partners were building the first housing in Scarsdale. And they said to Anna Brewster and her husband, why don't you, who were living in Manhattan at the time, because of course that was close to his work and the art world. And they said, oh, you know, you really should move out here. It's so beautiful, and it's, you know, you can get in a good deal, and you can be near us. And so that's really what drew them. It was that, you know, ordinary a reason. But I think she was attracted to it, and it worked well for her, because then Scarsdale, I mean, now it's, you know, a wealthy suburb of New York, but then it was very rural. And so she had a lot of potential subjects for her painting. But at the same time, you could get on a train, and it was minutes into the city. So she could, you know, go to dealers and do that sort of thing if she were so inclined. And also, of course, for a family with a young child, suburbs better, you know, more places to play and all that sort of thing. It's safer. So I think she really enjoyed it, and it turned out to be a good move for her. And of course, she was with her lifelong friend. I mean, they were right nearby and could see each other all the time, which I think they did.
Does she have a big studio in her home?
She
or
had a
does
studio in her home, and there are letters between her and her husband where he says to somebody, you know, she just didn't want to have a studio. And I said, she said, oh, you don't want all that mess in the house. And he said, well, yes, I think you really should have a studio. And so they built her one.
Was it part of the main house?
It was
or
part of the
it
main
separate?
house, yes.
It was amazing to me that she went off to Europe or London by herself.
Exactly.
I mean,
So-
first, because you hear about bridging the Victorian era where you couldn't be in a room painting somebody with
Without
a
a
male
chaperone.
without a
I know.
chaperone, and then
It
she-
was amazing, and I, as a result of how amazing it was, I was looking for reasons why she might have done this, and in the catalog I discussed that there was a very interesting and, although somewhat obscure, problem in the family. She had some sort of improper relationship, although it is impossible to tell because of the circuitousness of the language that they used, the nature of this relationship with her brother-in-law, her sister's husband.
The
And-
sister that was the drawing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, did not help us at this
Is
situation.
this Ada? Yeah, Ada is.
No, Ada's is a niece. She, no, her sister's, oh, it'll come to me, but I forgot.
I mean, there's a picture of Ada.
Yes, Ada is a young niece, I think, of hers. Ada was her sister, one of her siblings' child.
Oh, okay.
The child of one of her siblings. She, you know, had this whatever it was with the brother-in-law. Then was told the brother-in-law, listen, we can't do this anymore. It's too, I can't. It's upsetting. If my sister ever found out, she would be devastated. We have to break this off. He agreed. But later, she was they lived in New Jersey on a farm, and she would come every now and then to help out with the children, and when her sister was pregnant and, you know, couldn't do things. And she said, and we were there, and, you know, we were thrown together all the time, and he just, you know, started things up again. And she said, and I said to him, you know, if we are continuing to do this, somebody has to tell her, because it's just too, you know, it's too awful. I can't be so two-faced in front of her. And he said, and she said, or else we just really have to stop this. And he said, okay, you know, we won't tell her and we'll stop it. And lo and behold, a short while later, he told her, his wife. So she, of course, was quite upset, and I think Anna Richards felt herself to be a bit persona non grata. And this was a convenient way to get out of Dodge. You know, she wanted to have her own studio, of course, and pursue her art.